Well, welcome everybody. Yeah, I know most faces, which is fun. But nonetheless, I'm going to give a little introduction because the context of this might be different than what you might know about me already. I'm Carleigh Fairchild, well known for surviving 86 days alone in Patagonia. And what we're talking about today is what helped me last 86 days, thriving. And the thriving was not in the physical realms. I do have to admit this, as I didn't get a lot of food and lost a lot of weight, but I was thriving in a spiritual, mental, emotional way. So I have a background in survival skills, been studying survival skills, bushcraft, mostly in the lingo here. It's new to me. Primtech is really the avenue that I have studied in the most. And then I transitioned into learning about healing through the same lineage that I learned. So I learned from multiple teachers who also learned from Tom Brown Jr. of the Tracker School in the US. And he learned from a Native American man named Stalking Wolf, who wandered North America for 60 years, trying to study with everybody he could. Didn't matter who they were, anybody that he could learn from, he tried to understand. His search was to find what is the pure truth that is inside of all of the things, like inside all of the skills, inside all of the religions, like what is that essence that's true in any landscape. And then that transitions into the healing aspect of like, what is healing like at its essence, right? We have all these different modalities that are out there that all work, right? At least they work for somebody, you know? They may not work for you, but that's the beauty of so many options, is we can find what works for us. And what I have learned as the essence of healing is making contact and shifting perspective. And when I say contact, I'm not just talking about touch. Okay, can you kind of feel that or sense, see that? Like, it's not just touching, it's like contact. Contact is touch with dialogue. Right? It's what makes a great massage. It's not when somebody's just like a monologue on you, but it's like feeling into what your body needs, and it's going back and forth in that dialogue. And that's something that we can do in any context, right? Just eye contact can have that level of connection. A conversation can have that depth and that connection. Working on a skill can have that. A lot of work I do is teaching basket making, and then I sneak in some healing into it, you know, with the belief that people are coming to me to learn, and that's part of what I have to teach, so I can share that with others. And so in recent years, when I was on alone, I knew I had a nervous system, but I didn't really know what that meant. Does anybody here in this circle feel that way? Like, yeah, logically I know, I've heard there's this thing in my body called a nervous system, but and then over many years, I've learned to have really a dialogue with my nervous system. And through that dialogue can come healing in many ways in myself. Does anybody feel like they have a dialogue with their nervous system? So at least sometimes
we're not speaking.
You're not on speaking terms? Fair.
We turned on each other.
I would venture that it is trying to speak to you.
I would venture you're right.
But perhaps you're not tuned into that channel yet.
2 for 2, Carleigh. 2 for 2.
So our nervous system, we could talk very complexly about it. I don't have tons of big fancy words, to be honest. but what I have is a relationship to relate with all of you to. And so the part I'm going to talk about is that we have a parasympathetic nervous system and a sympathetic nervous system. Do those words mean anything? Yes, no. Cool. Has anybody ever heard of being in fight or flight? Yeah. So fight or flight is a response in our sympathetic nervous system. And sometimes it gets a bad reputation. Like, that's bad. We don't want that. But we need our sympathetic nervous system to get out of bed in the morning. Like, it's really helpful. We need our sympathetic nervous system to walk across the field, to make the action of, oh, I'm going to drink some water. So it's our action part that sometimes gets into more action than we want, might be a way to say it. I like to think of it in terms of we can respond to something or we can react to something. In a reaction, it's a direct thing that happens. Like, oh, I stubbed my toe. Fuck. Right? Or somebody's getting mad at me. I don't think it's ever happened yet, but one day. Somebody's getting mad at me and I can pause and then choose my response. Right, so response has a little pause in it that allows for a choice. A reaction, it seems like there's no choice whatsoever. Like you just blew past the choice. And so fight or flight, fawn, freeze, or other aspects that don't often get talked about, are all things that are a reaction. Like they just happen. Our nervous system is like, our life is on the line. This is what has to happen. And even though in our modern world, we tend to have our shelter needs taken care of, our warmth or cooling needs taken care of. Thank you, Bruno, for our cooling needs. Well, we tend to have our water and our food needs taken care of. Our nervous system often still thinks that it needs to fight, flight, fawn, or freeze because we're not in connection with our surroundings in the way that allows us to feel safe. We're not connected internally in the ways that allow us to feel safe. And so the default when we don't feel safe is to be in survival mode. So I had this crazy contradictory experience of being in survival mode in Patagonia, in survival existence, where my shelter, fire, and water needs were very well met, but my food need was not met at all. But internally, because of the work I had done leading up to that, and because of my connection with the lake and the mountains and the trees and the birds and the wind and the sky and the moon, because of all those connections, I felt safe. I felt like I belonged and that I was at home. Even though I was halfway around the world, isolated physically from any other human. So now you know the secret. And you might wonder, great, how does that actually tangibly look? Right? How can you each take something away from this talk into your daily life that can make a difference? That could give you a cup to fill? And that's what we're going to do. We're going to walk through some experiences. And on the surface, it might seem really simple. Just like one drop of water in a bucket. But every time we do something, we choose connection, it adds more drops of water into that bucket. That thread between people, each time you talk to them, that thread gets bigger. Right? Have you experienced that this weekend at all, of like somebody you haven't, or somebody you already know even, but that each interaction kind of adds to that feeling of connection, you know? Which means like you could be a complete stranger 3 days ago, and today you feel like family. Right? Because of all the points of connection you've had in real time with each other. And I think that's where social media fails us. It seems like there is connection. And I'm not going to say there's none, but it's not, our nervous system doesn't understand it. Which is also a contradiction, because I'm going to add this in, that our primal brain doesn't know the difference, our nervous system doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. And this is why I'm contradicting myself, because when we see on social medias traumas and chaos happening in the world, our nervous system responds as if we were there. It doesn't understand that we're hundreds or thousands of miles away. But in the way of connection that really feeds us, I'm not sure we can get that from social media. The deep nourishment of time together and time on the land. I think that's why bushcraft skills are so popular and such a need today, is because it's getting us in person, outside, and that is what our nervous system was designed to be existing in, to be living in. And as much as we have evolved, we also haven't. You know, there's been a lot of changes in our environment over the last couple hundred years, and even more so in the last 20 years. Like, I'm closer to 40 now, and like growing up, we didn't have smartphones. Cell phones started to be a thing in my mid-teenage years, but it was flip phones. You know, like, I've seen a lot of change, and I'm so grateful that I had the childhood I did. And to be able to get out and get my feet connected to, like, not even get my feet, but keep my feet connected to the earth. And it's amazing to be here, experiencing this here, right? Like, I'm from the United States, and we have a Bushcraft Show there, and it's like we're starting to, like, this is all starting to spread. Sometimes there can be arguments of like who got what information first, but I wish we could just drop that and celebrate that we have it. Right? And be curious of, oh, how do you do bow drill here? You know, what have you learned about it? What have I learned? Like, can we learn more new things from each other? Instead of worrying about who got it first. Like, who cares? There's many things across the globe that suddenly happened at the same time. Like the emergence, right? Emergent things happen in many places. And it can happen at the same time. Like, probably right now there's a conversation happening somewhere else in the world very similar to this. So to as an inroad to our nervous systems, there's some awesome books out there. But a key takeaway is that each of our nervous systems is unique. There's not in this situation, everybody's nervous system is going to be in fight. In this situation, everybody's going to be in freeze. It's not. Some might say that would be easier if it was, but honestly, to me, as a healer, that's what I love, is the puzzle of finding out how I can help this person. That it's not the same every time. And so some of the ways that can look is if we're always in action, like always having to do things, always potentially feeling agitated or stressed out, our nervous system is probably really like high up if I was trying to like make a scale. And it's helpful to do things to bring it back down. But then there's other people that their nervous system is actually really low. And it's hard for them to do action. It's hard to get out of bed in the morning. You might always be wanting to help other people and never like take care of your own needs. And those nervous systems need to learn some things to help them like come up into this window. It's often called the window of tolerance, but I don't like the word tolerance, because to me tolerance is like putting up with. So I want to say like the window of like thriving, the window of choice, when we can have awareness and be able to choose what we need and want to do, and to respond to what we feel called to do and not just react. And each of us have something that we're here, or many things that we're here to learn and experience and share with others. But nobody can tell us what that is. But I think our nervous system is trying to guide us into that. And if we can be in this window of opportunity, like, then we can be open and aware to follow those callings that we have. So we're gonna start with, I'm curious, are you guys open to a poll? Hands up. A poll, it's not about being right or wrong at all, but do you feel like your nervous system, I'm gonna give you 2 options so then you can choose. Do you feel like your nervous system is more often in like a highly active state? Or do you feel like your nervous system is more like a low down, maybe hard to act state? So and if you fall in the middle, we can have that one too. But
we like talking Joe Flowers up here and
me down. No.
What's our
I try to be here.
What's our metric?
Just in yourself. Okay. Like, what do you feel like is your truth of like? Yeah. So if you feel like your nervous system is more often like up high, reactions, actions, are you willing to put your hand up?
Put it up.
I won't look at your armpit.
Graze.
And then do you feel awesome? What about those who feel like their nervous system is more like down low more of the time and they could use some movement?
Can I say both?
And you can say both. And if you feel like both, you can totally put your hands up for both. Because there's a way, it's really interesting because it's not just a like linear thing. There's a way in which you can go so far up, you circle back down.
Yeah, that one.
It's like the back door, the magician's door.
Hey.
And I think there's a way in which we can get so low that then it's like, okay, now we gotta do stuff. We gotta do like to make up for it. And so it's this cyclical thing that I think like ping pongs. And if we can like come through into this window of opportunity, life gets to be really magical. Like that's when synchronicities start to happen. Or perhaps we become aware of the synchronicities that are happening. Like, oh, interesting. These connections are suddenly happening that I've been dreaming about, but I don't actually feel like I'm doing anything. So and this is where it gets interesting, because there's tendencies of like, if there's down low nervous system, the next couple of things we are going to do might be things to do to like help bring your nervous system up, but it also can can bring your nervous system down. So invite everybody to try it, and like first close your eyes and just like check into your own body, like asking the question like how is my nervous system in this moment? Is there a sensation? I once have somebody told me she felt like she had squirrels running around her chest. So whatever flavor you want to answer that question, and just for you, like, here's a moment to check in with that. And just take another breath or two here for you to get that sense of yourself. And then open up your eyes and bring your hands together and rub them together with a little pressure. Not lots of pressure, just a little pressure. You can feel that heat, that warmth. And what happens if you rub your hands fast?
More friction, more heat.
And then slowly. It's like, what is that sense of that in yourself, in your nervous system? And then pause and open up your hands just a little bit. And can you feel that tingling or that energy that you've created? And then you can use that and like scoop it up and wash your face with that energy. So gentle, almost like there's a washcloth. And we're gonna stand up. Right here. And there's a way of looking in the world that helps us drop, this is where my words do not always find them, from like beta, delta, just through the way we look. So normally we're like pretty focused. We only see like directly what we're looking at. But if we're in wide angle vision, we're able to relax and drop into a deeper state of being. So if you put your hands out forward, you kind of wiggle your fingers, and you maybe look off to the distance, not staring at one thing, but with soft eyes. Yeah, you can turn if you want to, and start bringing your fingers out to the side. Still looking forward, but play with that edge of where can you still look forward and see your fingers wiggling. And can you sense the tension like relaxing in your forehead with this way of looking? And that also, if you bring your hands back in front of you, goes up and down. So in wide angle vision, we can see movement really, really well, which is awesome if you want to see animals or birds out in the wild. It's awesome if you want to notice more going around you, but it also helps to calm the nervous system. Just going into wide angle vision for 5 minutes can help calm our nervous system. Box walking in wide angle vision can be a moving meditation. So if you pick up one foot and you let your toes kind of drop to the ground, we're gonna do it slow-mo at first. And the outside, like by your pinky toe, touches the ground first. And then rolling to your big toe, and then your heel comes down to the earth and your weight transfers. Be a movement practice to see more and be connected more within our bodies. Sometimes when we first learn something, slower, can be helpful, can help us develop those patterns and those awarenesses, and then it can be integrated into our life. Like one thing I used to do as a teenager to help me remember, right? Because when we do something new, sometimes our patterns are so strong in our life, it's hard to remember them even if we want to. I did different things because the same thing didn't always work. But once I painted my thumbnail, just my thumbnail, finger painted it. So whenever I saw it, it was a reminder of like, oh yeah, am I in wide angle vision? And it's not that we're meant to stay in wide angle vision all the time, but it's like we're so used to focused vision all the time that we need to find a balance. And then like remembering to go back to wide angle vision. And it's an in and out. Like wide angle vision, something catches my eye, I'm gonna focus and look. And then I wanna come back to wide angle vision. So paint your thumbnail. You could tie it to something that you already pay attention to. Like if you already notice the birds, then when you hear the birds, then that could trigger a remembrance of like, oh, am I in wide angle vision? Well, it's also a good use for technology, which I'm sure is what Sam's doing right now.
Taking in with the wife.
Right, we can set reminders on our phones to check in with whatever it is that we want to learn and remember and integrate into our lives. And some of the other, so we did hands rubbing together, simple body stretching can be great ways to soothe our nervous system. We can dance. Dancing is such an amazing way to move. So there's many different ways. Working out, like if you're someone who has, like, I speak for myself here, like my nervous system when I wake up in the morning is often so high that it's back down to freeze and it's hard to get up. And something that's been helping me in the last many months is I've started going to work out. And I've noticed a difference in my nervous system in a way that I'm starting to learn when it has this zing in it, it actually needs more movement. But my pattern is that then I need to freeze and not do anything, or like try to figure out 20 things before I can do one thing. And so with working out, it's helping me learn that, have that dialogue with my nervous system of, oh, movement. I'm feeling zingy, let's go move. Just walk around the neighborhood even if it's not a workout, has been amazing to bring that back down. And it seemed counterintuitive to me. Like it didn't make sense. But then I got to a point of like, well, kind of sick of what's happening, let's try something new. Which often comes to that. Like we might want to do something, but oftentimes, we have to be sick of something before we're willing to do something different, right? Sick of a pattern, sick of a choice. So take a moment, close your eyes if you want to, and take a deep breath in, and then slowly let it out. And ask yourself the same question at the beginning. Like, how does your nervous system feel now? What's the sense of it? When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Maybe into that wide angle vision. Can you feel a difference in the group from when we started?
He's really behaving now.
Let them stay with how they are.
Taking us out of our tranquil peace.
That's me.
You could be a part of our practice.
Would a couple people be willing to share their before and after feeling?
Mine's a bit weird.
Lovely, can't wait.
I see things in colours.
Yeah.
So at the start it was very vibrant, like purples, violets and that. And now I'm kind of more of a calm lilac.
Calm lilac.
If that makes sense.
It does. Yeah, I love that.
Or a couple of degrees cooler.
Couple degrees cooler.
Yeah, I was about to say less stressed.
Definitely calm.
Calmer, but actually more.
But feeling also like adding something more.
I love that.
Calmer, but kind of more ready to do things.
Yeah.
More, I guess, more energetic, but not. Yeah.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
it does. Yeah, so often we have this belief, especially when we start to get stressed out, that we have to do all of these things before we can take a moment. And I challenge you to challenge that belief and start taking those moments of pause. I mean, it literally could be one breath. Our nervous system is directly connected to our body, our physical. And our brains can think and think and think, but our bodies are feeling and sensing. And 80% of the communication between our brains and our bodies comes from our bodies to our brains. And only 20% goes from our brain to our body. Which means we can't tell ourselves, I'm okay. Right? You can't tell a crying toddler, you're okay. It doesn't ever work because they don't have that capacity. Their bodies are not hearing that. But what we can use that 20% of communication for is to tell ourselves to breathe. And when we take a longer exhale than the inhale, it's a signal that we are safe. Because imagine back our ancestors being chased by a predator. We were not having a longer exhale than inhale. Right? It's that short breath that is the body's way of saying we're stressed out. So if we can remember to use our brains to guide our actions, to go into wide angle vision, to walk, like these can be done inside as well as outside. Pausing for a moment to look out the window instead of just at the screen, and taking a breath, feeling your feet on the ground and imagining them on the earth below you. It's all accessible anytime we can bring our awareness to it. Right? This sense that you feel in yourself right now, you can return to this. And when your nervous system is in this window of opportunity, window of connection, ooh, I like that one, window of connection, it helps other people just by being in ourselves. Because our nervous systems mirror. And so sometimes there's nothing at all to do, but there's someone to be. So if you want to stay in touch with me, stay in contact, I have a company called Human Nature Connection where I bring these sorts of experiences to people and groups. I love to collaborate with folks. And I'm writing a book that weaves this into my survival experience in Patagonia that I my plan is to complete it this year. and have it published as soon as possible.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That was really cool.
Thank you, Carleigh.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for coming. Pleasure to share.
That was awesome.